What up, everybody? We're back with another podcast. It's your girl, Precious Mary, aka Raven from Teen Titans. I am not in a good mood right now. I want to go home and Azarath Mentrum Synthos this bitch. I just want to go to sleep.
So is that Raven from which Teen Titans? Live action currently about to come out? Or Teen Titans Go?
Jimmy, don't start with me.
You literally
What's the name of her demon father?
Trigon.
I will summon that motherfucker.
Man,
for
Trigon
you,
ain't got nothing on me.
Okay.
I'm Jimmy A.
I'm Steve.
I'm Miss J.
I'm recording.
Damn 47. Alright, so we're going to start off with our first topic, the LeBron James school called, what is it called?
I Promise. IPS.
Fill us in. What are the details?
Alright, so basically he opened a school. Where did he open it in?
Akron,
Ohio.
Ohio.
So what are your thoughts about it?
Oh, well,
I love that. Oh,
one
go
of
ahead.
the things we should mention. This school is meant to not just bring students up to par, being a STEM accredited school, science, technology, art, math, engineering, all that good stuff. But they also plan on giving free tuition, free uniforms, free bikes, free transportation, free breakfast, lunch, and snacks. They want to have a food pantry for families to utilize, and also provide GED and job placement services for the parents. And they've partnered with the University of Akron to guarantee tuition to the University of Akron for every student who graduates. They're starting with third grade this year, I believe.
3 and 4.
They're doing 3 and 4. I thought they were just
like
okay.
230.
There's 3. Okay, grades 3 and 4, but they hope to be grades 1 through 8 eventually. And I think that this is such a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
His idea is to
I love it.
He's going to add one to each end every year. So I guess 3 and 4 now, then 2 to 5, 1 to 6, whatever. And every year he's just going to add on more.
It's pretty cool. I think the last time something this high profile, in terms of a black celebrity giving back to the community, I think it was Chance the Rapper like a couple months ago. Like at the height of his success, he was constantly talking about how he wanted to improve Chicago. That's where he's from, Chicago. He always wanted to improve Chicago, and he donated. I think it was just right after they were talking about trying to fix the budget for education. He donated $1 million, something like $1 million to strictly just for the education. And then he sat down with the mayor of the city to talk about what they could do. And that's the last high profile thing I know of.
I also know of. In terms of building your own to help the community out, the dude that started I guess you could call it the Black Anime Company. I saw them at Anime Expo last year. Noir Caesar or Caesar Noir. I gotta look that up real quick, but it was really cool. He was he's also a basketball player, young guy, and he was like, I want to see more of us in anime and manga. Yeah, we know culturally how it is, but why not? It's an art form, so he decided I'm just gonna make my own company. And right now it's housing a lot of black animators and artists who kind of want to go down the route of the more anime manga style. And their panel at the convention last year was incredible. Like, it was really cool.
Jess, is that the guy that did the Negan pool you're talking about?
No, that's BlurredCon. Although they ran
Is
theirs
it-
last year the first time, and that was awesome too.
Off
I
topic.
know you posted
off
BlurredCon
topic.
recently.
We need to go to BlurredCon next year.
Hell yes! I
It's on my list.
I almost went last year.
Yeah.
Almost went.
We're gonna go
Wait,
next
when is
year.
it this year?
It was a couple of weeks ago.
No, it already passed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it already passed.
Okay, so I missed it this year. Next year.
Next year.
Now
It was
next
all
year, that is.
Well, as you were about to say.
Yes. Yeah, we went off topic. But I think this is a good example of people coming together to build their community and make things better for their community.
Unlike Dr. Umar. So real quick, I wanted to gonna add on to the LeBron James thing because the way the media made it seem was like he's doing it all, but it's not just him alone. I mean, even people didn't catch on to it, but written the initial article, it says that LeBron James is doing this and that, and his partner with it's going to be a public school.
Yes.
partner with the school district. So
Okay.
Oh,
being
I
that
thought it was a part.
No, it's
Exactly.
not private.
You
It's
see?
public.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's
it
what I'm
is
saying. So,
public.
I know it is. I'm saying so
Yeah.
because it's public, so you have to understand that taxpayers' money is going to go into it as well.
I think that's great.
Now, when I read, and there was a different article that came out later on stating that about 75% of it will be paid for by the taxes, by the public, by the government. So, which means LeBron James, I mean, it's not like he's doing nothing, but it's just that you have to understand that it's not just him alone.
Yeah.
It's not all him. It's his foundation, but
It's the city of Akron.
yeah, and he's basically, I mean, what I like to call a figurehead. But it's not just, he's involved in it, but he's in the face of it, like the lead singer of the band.
But interesting.
Sometimes you need the faces to get.
Oh yeah,
stuff out
definitely,
there.
because with him
So
on
people
it,
don't drag their feet.
it draws investors.
And
But-
also, they don't want to make him look bad, so they're gonna do right.
Yeah, that brings up something interesting though. You said like uniforms are free. Oh, they're getting all this free stuff. This is all coming from the taxpayers' money.
Part of it.
And
Well,
I'm
I mean,
get-
yeah, because
but
he's
but,
on, he's
wait, let me get from that point. So my thing is, this is as a society, but I mean, even though we have a lot of social, what is it called, socialist programs going on with Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, SNAP, all that, the American public as a whole are against this kind of thing. And this school is the kind of they're doing things that, I mean, they're free, things that most other people would pay for, but this is coming from taxpayer money. I'm just thinking if his name wasn't over this, people wouldn't be down.
Probably
Like at all.
not.
No,
Again, that's why
again, like he wouldn't be down at all. Like if this school, if this place in Iowa said we're just gonna open a school with taxpayer money and things are gonna be free, uniforms are gonna be free.
I'm gonna go up on Bernie Sanders.
Maybe there is a little bit of uproar that we don't know about that's being maybe it's being overshadowed because it's LeBron James, but
That's true.
But I can't help but feel like just because LeBron James, his name is on it, that people are suddenly on board with all this stuff they are arguing against.
The
Lamar.
problem with that is that and I do agree with you with a lot of that. And the weird thing about it is, and it comes to just the stupidity of people sometimes, is that if they're not for public schools in general, if they're not for public schooling, at least in the case with LeBron donating, at least being an initial backer to this project, they wouldn't be for public schools in general.
Of course.
But they're not. So
Yeah,
Now
if
they've got
you-
like
push for a charter. and
Yeah,
private.
especially
Yeah.
when you see what's going on with charter schools, when you see what's going on with private schools, you
not
see
even
what's going on
charter and
with
private, it's
Betsy.
just
With Betsy
exactly.
DeVos and what she's trying to do.
Oh,
She's trying to
she's something
privatize
else.
school. They're
It
basically
starts
trying
with
to
a C.
run. Yeah, they're basically trying to run schools as a business, and that is
You can't.
you can't do that.
Because you can't
do
treat a
that.
child like a cog in a machine.
Exactly.
They've been doing it for far too long. Look what happened. The industrialization age is over, and we need to stop doing that and come up with a new system. But maybe this is
What was
a
it?
step
What was it
in
you said
a-
again,
in a
Steven? I
direction.
missed something.
Which part of it?
That's a very good question. That's the point I was gonna make. But I forgot what
But
it was.
I mean,
The
the
fact that
main.
because he's not on board. If he's on.
If it wasn't him, maybe that's part of why they have him on
because of his
board.
name.
Exactly.
Yeah, which I guess helps the cause that
Exactly.
they're really going
So,
for.
do you think
Now,
celebrities?
Well, real quick, I was gonna say something like, you're saying that, like, if it wasn't for the fact that LeBron James was on it, they probably wouldn't be on board. I agree with you on that. But that's where the other stupidity of it comes from. People are against this free healthcare, free this and free that, but some of them are just all for this space force to fight this invisible space war we have going on right now.
Again, the stupidity
They're
of
ready
masses.
they're ready to build a wall to block people when things aren't like people are just ready to put money in the wrong
Because
places.
All of this
it's
is based
easier to
off of
convince people
ignorance.
to. Fear is a very good motivator. If you convince, it's easier to convince people
Of a
to
threat.
support the government to stave off something they fear
defend fear of the unknown.
than to say support
Hey,
the
we need
government
this
to
so we
help
make things better,
to
so
help
us
your
with
fellow
this.
man.
Yeah.
Like the wall is fueled by the fear of immigrants and what they could do to our country. This Buzz Lightyear Space Academy
Sorry.
is fueled by
You're trying to build
by
stuff.
aliens. I can't believe I said
Did
that
he
out
like
loud.
watch Independence Day one day and go, "Oh my God, we need this"?
I think he's a G-rated Hegelian
You
fan.
can't talk about this. You can't talk about this.
No, we can.
No,
She
we
can, but we
can't.
can. I'm gonna speak for you. I got you. I got you.
Alright, so right now, she's mute.
Disclaimer: none of our opinions
I got that. No
Matter of
names, no names. Like,
Anyway, you were gonna say
have
something.
anything to do with her.
What? I was gonna say something. Oh,
I don't know what
no,
it
I
was.
was gonna ask a question, but you guys speak
About
what
celebrities? No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Ask your
Okay,
question.
so I was going to ask, do you think what LeBron James, do you think this should inspire celebrities to come forth and start funding public schools or other things to help their communities? We
Okay,
did mention Chance the Rapper, and I think there are other hip hop
Until
artists.
you said funding public schools, I was about to do a complete rebuttal because like Pitbull, Diddy, and a few others,
Yeah.
they have.
Oh, I know
charter
about
schools.
Diddy. Yeah, I know about Diddy.
They
With
have.
his
He
school
has
in
like
Harlem.
I think like the success.
Promise something. In,
Promise Academy in
yeah,
Harlem.
in Harlem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, but the thing about it is those are charter based, so those and he's treating it as if this was a new business venture. That's the problem.
I don't know, but I think that what makes this very different is the thing that makes charter schools so popular right now is that they have more freedom and oversight in the way the schools are run and organized
because
than
they're
private.
run like a business. They
No.
have a board of directors.
No, but no.
Not
That's
like that.
that you're looking. You look at it the other way around. It's because of that structure that they can do things the way that they can do. It's not. They're not doing things because they're not doing things because they want to run like a business. It's because that's the only way they can do it outside of the school system.
Right.
That's the way the charter schools work. The problem with charter schools is, of course, they're privatized, and if the right people aren't funding it, you prioritize profit over education.
And that's the problem with most charter schools. Like there's this reputation that charter schools are better than public schools, but statistics have shown that charter schools
are about the same.
They're about the same as public schools.
They have the same
and even a
turnover.
lot of
With
charter
even worse
schools, a
turnover
lot of
because
they
they're
have
not protected by unions.
Yeah, and there have been charter schools that have been shut down right in the middle of the school year because of funding, or they're
If
not
you
even
want
performing
a
as well.
good detailed version of this, just watch the YouTube video that John Oliver posted.
Yes.
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 Just
I'm
watch
not-
that. Call it a day.
I'm not gonna give
We'll
it
link
too
it in
much
the
away, but my previous job, I did work at such a charter school, and it did shut down because they were underperforming. And I can verify that in the last year or so, they basically brought in someone to help make the school look good, and they did things that on the surface would make the school look good, but in actuality, it just wasn't.
The problem.
It was all just a show to make it look good, so that people will want to be on board for the
It's
next
like
year.
using a Band-Aid to cover a gunshot.
I'll put it to you this way: if celebrity or not, high profile or not, you should be in things for the cause, not
Yes.
for the profit. And
Yes.
if you're in for the profit, then that's where all this other stuff happens.
I-
But
Here's the
Write-offs.
problem with that is that if you're trying, like, here's the thing where I don't like that everyone's trying to bank off of celebrities helping others instead of the state, because unlike the state, the resources of a celebrity are finite, and not only that,
are the resources of the state not finite? Don't they have?
they are, but
budgets and
in comparison, you're talking about a couple million to a few trillion that can, not in realistic terms, that won't be allocated directly to that, but at the very least, they can structure something that can affect more on a national level than just this one city and this one school affecting a few hundred and probably getting the statistics.
But again, wouldn't we be rolling right back into the same thing? The state, the Senate, our congressmen,
Yes.
they appease those that put money in their hands.
And
No,
right
so we're
now the
still
entire
going right
thing
back
is being
to
run
those
by
high-profile people
Yeah,
who
but
don't give a fuck.
yeah, but the thing about it is, the problem with the state at this point is that they're all businessmen. That's why the charter school system is getting pushed more, and
Politicians.
the state should be running this. And not only that, but at the very least, a statewide, like a national mandate for how this should be structured. and yeah, I get it. It should be better. We all went through that system. This is how we are now.
Well, the system was a little bit better when we were there than it is now. It's gotten worse.
Well, yes, but that's the problem. It should be something that should be ironclad, set in stone, and left alone.
Yes and no, because if that was the case, then we'd kind of still be suffering. It has to be able
only
to like,
modify
evolve with
during
the times.
yeah no only modifying the variable. There's a lot of variables that can be modified within that, but only, as long as they give up, as long as they will be positive. Like it's almost like trying to future-proof it. It's very, but the thing about it is, it's very.
You can't future-proof that.
Yeah, I know.
We don't know what the hell is going to happen within the next 2 generations.
No, we don't, and that's the problem.
Like they really thought they were doing us a favor, pushing the whole IT design thing when we were in school, and by the time we got out, they were a dime a dozen. So what good did that do us?
Hi, friend.
Hi, friend. I'm a designer. You're in IT. Like, what do you want?
Come do the fusion dance and you be
but
good.
but there were a lot of programs back in the day that were even trying to do that while using some aspects of the charter school charter school system. And I'm not the best one to be talking about this because I know about this as much as I know about why that lightning rod is on top of that building. but like Head Start, and initiative, one of the things that you saw a lot of charter schools build off of is because of like a Head Start like foundation where they can promise either an accelerated education or at least an advanced education that you will get in a public school. Like
that was their marketing level, but
yeah, it was.
And that was their intention.
That's what they shoved us through in high school.
That was the intention.
Accelerated program.
Yeah, that was the intention.
But if you don't have people to pull through on that properly, then all you do
or
is
if you
kids.
Or if you don't have people that have good intentions and they're just using that to make a marketing point, then it's going to fail.
If you use children as a business model, it's going to fuck up.
Yeah.
To go back to LeBron a bit, I think the other reason why this is such a big deal is the fact that this is a public school. Like as you mentioned, all the people have been doing this, but they've had to do it through charter schools because that was the only way they could do it. Mm-hmm. I guess through star power and wherever else he thought to try to negotiate and do this. That through the existence, as far as I know, people have been doing this through the charter school system because this is the only way they could. But he's the first one to try to do this within their existing public school system. Yeah. Which I think is the best way to go because
that means all are on board with it.
Yeah, but it also means that number one, if you look beyond it, he got people to look past the fact that we're using taxpayer money to benefit other people as a whole and be okay with it.
Well,
but I have to say,
real quick on that point, I'll let you finish first. Go ahead.
No, go. What were you gonna say?
On that point you just made, people don't see it now. But if they do realize it later on down the line, would that cause some backlash?
Yes,
I don't think so because they're gonna be. Like I said, maybe there's a little bit going on and it's overshadowed by the fact that it's King James, but I think people are gonna be on board with it. And once people are enrolled or people are going to school, the point is that once people are going to go to school, no one's really going to care that much. And the people that are going to be complaining about it, they're going to be they're the ones that are already complaining now. There are people that are like fundamentally against that. Yeah. And if you are, that's
your business. No,
I mean, that's fine. Just understand that you still benefit.
Don't bring your school there and that.
I'm just saying
don't bring your kid there.
I'm just saying you can't be half in and half out. Like, just understand that you do benefit from some, that there are some socialistic institution in place in our country, and that you benefit from them, and you can't be like, okay, I don't want to help your kid go to school, but my Medicare though.
But the police though.
Yeah, right. The police, the fire department, though.
I'm gonna add on to the whole school thing. I forgot to mention when you said they get a bike and they get the helmet and everything. Mm-hmm. The reason why, because when I first read that, I was like, why bikes? But the reason why is because, well, it's not just that. When LeBron was a young kid, growing up, no, not just fitness.
Just let him finish.
When he was a kid growing up, he said his bike was high. Was able to get away from all the bad things going on in his neighborhood. So he has to get around. That was part of I guess, to you know how I was saying earlier about the hood and everything. You said you chose with it. That was his way of choosing to stay away from the bad, negative influences.
And it's much easier to get
So
away
because that was what happened with him growing up, he's gonna give them a bike.
But
because
you know
that's
what?
what
At the end of
it means
the day,
it means more to him.
Definitely. But I'll say at the end of the day, kudos to LeBron for taking this on, you know, in his neighborhood, coming and giving back to the community that helped raise him.
His entire foundation.
And also kudos to Akron, Ohio, and to whoever is, you know, in power there for realizing that this needs to be done and establishing it as a non-privatized thing and, you know, making it available to everybody, because every city's not going to do that. If they were, we wouldn't have this problem right now. So maybe they will be the first of many, you know, new direction maybe. I would love to see more of this.
And one more note from me. If you're not a LeBron fan, that's fine. If you hate the guy, if you think Michael Jordan is better than LeBron or Kobe or whatever, that's fine. Leave your hate for LeBron on the court. This has nothing to do with basketball. This is for just the community in general.
It's for the culture.
This is for the culture.
It's for the community.
And to end this off, and to end off, and to end off this topic, there was a tweet that Bill O'Reilly put out on his thoughts with LeBron about LeBron James, and this is what he said. If LeBron James wants to champion social justice as well as basketball, he should go to Chicago and help the poor people there who are experiencing unprecedented violence. Please check out my commentary on BillO'Reilly.com. And then a man by the name of Ethan Thomas, this is a black man, he responded by saying, "Well, Bill, if you didn't have to pay $32 million for sexually harassing your own co-workers, you could have used that money to really make a difference in Chicago yourself." And with that, we're going on to the next topic.
Yes!
There's a lot of things you could have said from that first one.
Moving on.
Moving on. So the next topic, this happened in Brooklyn. So some of you don't know, there was a nail salon that is run by predominantly Asian people, and it was a black woman. She brought her, I think it was her mother, and they decided to, you know, have a little girls' day out at this nail salon. The woman, she wasn't satisfied with how they waxed her eyebrows, so she refused to pay them. She demanded, you know, for her money back. And instead of trying to work something out with her, the women there, the Asian women there, started to physically fight her. And the video is out on the internet. And I believe sometime around this week there was a huge protest for calling of the salon to be closed down. And now people are advocating for specifically black women to stop spending their money in predominantly Asian nail salons. That there are black nail salons out there. So what are your thoughts on
Either
that?
ask for a couch or shut your mouth.
Look. This could go into a whole nother topic, but I
another
guess
hour.
all I'm going to say on this is Asian presence in black communities is not a new thing for a very long time. They were the only ones who would serve us, be it clothes, tailors, or food. So we've always kind of had something going on. Now, does the communication need to be better? Definitely. They certainly didn't have to fight the woman, but I hope they're able to come to an agreement, because, I mean, at the end of the day, oh, stop shaking your head. I said I hope they would be able to come to some kind of agreement. I mean, these days, like, the moment you do something that nobody likes, you're ready to, you know, go to war or shut them down, and everybody's butthurt and sensitive. Like, really? There are going to be differences. You gotta try to work through that.
See, I agree. I
I'm
agree with them
shut
having.
them down. Maybe
I agree
have
with you.
training. Maybe tell them, you know, give them options on different ways to wax eyebrows. I don't know. I'm not in the nail biz.
I agree with all of that. My problem now is when it got physical. It didn't have to get
like,
physical.
why did
They were beating her with brooms. I saw the video. They beat her with a broomstick. They poured acetone on her. It's just not right. So the fact that they took it to that level, that alone says they have no care for black lives in general.
Gotcha.
And I just feel like if you don't care for the people that are actually
patronizing
your business, the reason why you're still in business, because this kind of people come to your store to pay to pay you for your services.
Right.
And if you don't care for them, why should we care for you? So
That is true, yes.
I'm personally with them being kicked out of the neighborhood.
Well, I didn't know to the extent.
Specifically.
I didn't know to the extent.
I understand
and I don't
that,
know
yeah.
who did what first. Like, I was trying to.
It doesn't even. It's just.
It's just
And that's-
I know
unprofessional.
what you mean. I know what you mean.
It goes
It's
beyond being
extremely
unprofessional. You're literally attacking the
You're
woman.
being a
You
cunt.
are.
You know, most of the time you probably hear some kind of verbal abuse, and you know, like, oh, f you this, oh, blah blah blah, all right, cool, and they
But
go
to
about their business.
physically
But
attack her.
they-
Exactly not.
it was her, and I think it was her grandkids as well. It was 3 of them.
Those three of them.
Yeah. It was either 2 or 3 of them. I have to watch the video again. I saw it one time and I was just like, I'm done. I was put off,
Yeah.
and I just didn't like what I saw. Things like that should not be happening.
That's why I try to.
Watching
them,
things like that should not be
upset me
happening.
far too much.
You know, it's one thing when there's just a disagreement.
I
It
think
went
maybe-
beyond that.
I think maybe
Yeah.
we should have
Like, if
a
it was-
podcast show with some. Well, we do have Asian friends and talk about the anti-blackness that does
Yeah, we can talk
occur
about that.
in the Asian
I
community.
would love to.
Yes, we can definitely.
Because everybody want to be black until it's time to be black.
Mm.
So
Until it's not time to be.
Until
black.
it's, yeah,
Well, you
yeah,
said it best.
yeah.
they love the culture, but they don't like the people.
But anyways,
Most of the
if
time.
you're
Most
from
of the time.
Brooklyn,
Not-
Not generalize.
Yeah.
I don't mean to generalize,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
As
Yeah,
I said,
we do.
Paul
Yeah.
Mooney said it best.
Yes, he did.
But anyways, I go to the nail boutique. It is black owned. You can go there. It's in Brooklyn. You
Look
can
at
Google
that.
it.
Look,
There you
I
go.
could put up a post. I could put one on screen.
I
I
go
put
to
whatever.
Dwayne Reed and pick
These
up
right
some
here.
flippers.
Listen, I got a whole list of black nail salons, just nail salons
I
alone.
go to the nail boutique.
You gonna send me that?
But
Please
this,
send me that.
I like to mention something, and it's a little different.
Go ahead.
But all right, so a lot of people who own these businesses, they're people who have immigrated here, right?
Yes.
They're like their first generation, maybe second generation, and the people, if they're second generation, it's probably because their parents owned it and just handed it off to them. We know a couple of people. I know a couple of people are like that. But the thing is, these people, when they immigrated here, they didn't have much, and so they decide. And so when they immigrate here, they go to their communities or the people that are here, and they show them the ropes and help them out. And usually these people, they band together and run businesses together. So they'll run the nail salon and the Chinese
And the
Chinese
laundromat.
yeah, and all that stuff. And they're usually in the same area. So there's a different sense of there's camaraderie and a sense of priority. Like when you come here, you go a lot of times you go to these places where you see the people who immigrated here like you, because they're here for the same reasons you are, and they're here to do the same things you are. Now the black African Americans, a lot of them have been here for generations, right?
Yes.
So they don't have that same mindset. It's like they
It's
like like they see this the same way a lot of people who have been here for years and years see this generations,
Which
is like this is I guess they just see it as our country, and they shop. They don't shop with that they don't shop mindfully, or they don't do that with that in mind. Which is why you constantly see reminders to support your local businesses, or support or specifically in our case, support your local black-owned businesses. Because there are a lot of people that I'd say white people. I'll just say white people, right, who have been here for generations, right? Let's say you live in a small town. Your main concern is patronizing your small mom and pops, right? You want to just patronize the small mom and pops, but outside of that, it's by and large a matter of convenience. And that's the way it is with a lot of African Americans. They're not thinking about patronizing the Crown Fried Chicken because it's black owned. They're patronizing it because it's cheap and they're hungry. Like they are thinking about that. The other thing is, and poverty does play a role in this, but a lot of times when you're an independent business, especially if you're trying to do things that a lot of black-owned businesses are doing, prices are a little more expensive, and again, it becomes a matter of convenience.
Yeah.
Well, this is black-owned, but it's a little bit more pricier than this place, so I'll just go to this place.
Yeah.
Well, one question is that why is it pricier with the black-owned businesses versus the non-black-owned
9 times out
businesses?
of
I
10,
think
they
it's-
are not sorry for cutting you
Oh, go
off.
ahead.
9 times out of 10, it's just themselves. It's their own income and revenue funding it. So to make at least some form of a profit, they have to up the price because they have to get all the stuff shipped there. They have They have to make sure they have to manage the assets. They have to manage the equipment. Make sure everything is right. If something breaks in there, it's usually a problem. Not because they can't fix it, but because of the cost the cost in time it would take to fix it. So instead of like one of the spots where like they know each other and they can go, oh, can you just lend me this real quick? I gotta get this fixed, and it's no problem. Just hold down my shop for a couple of days, and it's almost like mutual agreements between your cultures. In the black community, especially when you're starting a business, and there's an isolationism.
I was about to say that. It goes back to what you just said. These people, they've come here and established it, or they've inherited it. What have you? They have that camaraderie and people to turn to. Black people start a business. They ain't got nobody except some people on the side probably waiting for your ass to fail. Just so they could say, I told you so.
I don't know. I wouldn't even say it goes that far.
Wait, but I have something to say. The funny thing about this is when slavery was ended,
right?
That was
blacks were able to form their own businesses on their own, and maybe it was through families coming together and building each other
Black Wall Street.
Yeah, there was Black Wall Street. There were black-owned taxi companies, black-owned buses, black schools, so on and so forth. And then because of the terrorism that these predominant and affluent black neighborhoods face because of the KKK and everything else, they weren't able, after they faced the terrorism, they weren't able to build themselves back up. And so maybe that's where that mentality came from. Like, we were not
left alone.
Yeah, we weren't left alone,
Asians
as opposed to other groups.
Asians came to this country. They put them all in what are considered now Chinatowns and said, you can do what you want, just stay there and don't bother us and don't touch our women. But their businesses were not burned down.
They weren't
their
called
business,
ghettos.
Technically they were ghettos. They redlined them. That's not even the thing. It's just the fact that they didn't go into their towns and burn them to the ground, and took away everything that they had established. They were like, do what you want as long as you stay over there. Yeah. We did not have that opportunity. Like, it took us a while to get to where we are, and somewhere along the way that camaraderie got lost because it was more of like, once I get a leg up, let me go ahead and get up here because it was hard to get up here.
If I team up with my people,
they're gonna come after us, and
So I don't know if you remember, it was maybe a few months ago, we were in the car, and I was talking to you about how I feel like some people, because it goes to what you just said about them, they got a leg up and they just want to go. Where I feel like rather than do that, when I say that they're too quick to want to enjoy what they've done, like I feel like right now I don't know when the time would be, but I feel like right now isn't the time to basically, you make all this and then you want to enjoy it instantly. I feel like right now is the time to make everything and then put back into getting the others to do the same.
I agree.
To really get some kind of foundation, because everybody's trying to say, oh, I did it, let me go on my own. I did it, let me go on my own.
You're not quite there yet.
No, we're not as a whole. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Individually, you might, we got one or two people that we got with she's a billionaire. That's cool.
But the way you stay there is by having other people that can help hold you up. If they can't hold you up, the moment you're done, it's done.
The thing is that I just feel like, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there are people doing that. But it needs to be more. It needs to go exponentially. It needs to be people putting back into the community where to make it possible for others to get to that, maybe not get to your level, maybe get past the level, whatever the case might be, but to get out of whatever it is, whatever that mindset is, they got to get out of that mindset. They got to get out. They got to make it financially in order to be able to. I lost my point. In order to be able to actually flourish.
Maintain.
To flourish as a community in general.
That too.
Because people are flourishing individually, but not together.
Yeah, that's the problem. Go ahead.
Especially when it comes to just the black experience, especially when it comes to at least getting your money. The problem is when you do contribute back to the community, and it's the thing that a lot it's the main reason why, and it goes back to the point of the schools. It's the main reason why a lot of them have turned to charters, because at the very least, you still get your money, and going all in and giving back to the community. as a black person, with this idea that you're helping the community and you're helping them move, like grow a bit, and so they in turn can reproduce that cycle. The first thing you have to do is like begin to clear out the toxicity within that community itself.
This is true.
Like even before you put in while you're putting in your money, the one thing you would have to do is install community values.
Yeah.
Like even if it's on a building by, like if it was on a project by project basis, just a small start to begin to show that, you know, we can come together and do that shit instead of just, oh, here's like I'm putting in a total of like 50 mil into this project in the hood, and like thumbs up.
Yeah, right now that's not enough. You
because there's a lot of people that have done that, and I'm not knocking them. If it's worked out and it's helped the community, good for them. But if you actually want to see that the stereotype of like black people not succeeding in America, you have to get the entire, like from
everybody's got to be on board. Hell yeah.
At the very least, if you cannot get the old onto that point, put the young people in there, install it hard, drill it into them that they can do this shit and they can flip it to help the next generation do that shit.
Yeah.
And then maybe you will see something besides waiting once or twice every 5 or 6 years for some fucking multi-millionaire to like go, oh, I'm doing this. Positivity, guys. And then marching away, and then 5 years from now, that whole project fading into obscurity where either it's not funded, it's poorly funded, or it's just gone on the wayside completely. Yeah.
Or it fails.
Or it fails.
It all, again, comes down to mindset. And unfortunately, the overreaching mindset of African Americans is not a good one as compared to blacks. Not just Africans, Caribbeans too. Just blacks from outside of America, like the rest of the diaspora and other ethnicities. There is a chain in my old neighborhood in Brooklyn of this family. They're from Yemen, somewhere in the Middle East, and they own like 4 stores. One by my cousins, one by my mom's, and they're really the 24-hour spot. They're really, really awesome.
Yeah,
and they look out for each other. They're always telling us, yeah, we're going back. Yeah, my cousin's coming up. He's a contractor. He's gonna fix the other store.
Yeah.
And then my uncle's coming up from some state because he was out there. And it's like, yeah. So since we got 2 stores,
get another store.
I lived in that neighborhood for 10 years. A little over 10 years, actually, more like 15 years. But in 7 years, I saw the growth of their little empire as their people came in, and it's like, all right, you're doing sandwiches, you're doing inventory. They got the kids behind there working on the register. Like, in my opinion, that is how you do. That is how you should do.
Exactly.
And we don't do that here anymore.
No.
Y'all come here. If you're not starting businesses, you're at least buying property. Something that a lot of us here were discouraged.
Exactly.
Against my parents could have invested in Park Slope back in the day. $250,000 is not a lot of money now. It was back in the 90s. But when you look at the fact that Park Slope is the 3rd most expensive neighborhood in the country, had they invested back then, when my grandparents were like, you're a new couple, you just got your city job, you don't want to really risk it. That's a lot of money. You got another kid on the way, so you're gonna have 2 kids. Do you really want a mortgage? Anywhere else, property is as good as gold. If you have land or you have property, you never give that up. Yeah. We were very strongly discouraged in this country from buying it. Like, if you have it, it's usually because your grandparents or somebody from a while back held on to that and beat it into you not to get rid of it. I have seen a lot of, friends, family of friends who were also born here, who are like, generations and generations back, not tied to the Caribbean or to Africa. And within their families, they fight, they get mad, they split the house because they want the money right now. And I'm sitting here like, you shouldn't have did that. But it all comes back to mentality. And that's something, like he said, the toxicity needs to be worked out of the system here because we just got it all mixed up.
As you said, especially with that last point, because I'm going through that right now.
I know.
There's at least, all right, my grandpa and a few of his brothers and sisters died recently.
Mm-hmm.
And between that whole year and a half of deaths, instead of mourning and paying your respects, everyone's been fighting like fucking savages over who gets what. Wow. Again, to go over that whole family takes care of each other value.
They're supposed
I know,
to.
no, I literally know his name, and I'm not trying to stereotype it, literally as I met. He owns, like, I've seen him grow from my block, straight up. He came from, I think he's from, Pakistan.
Mm-hmm.
He came from Pakistan. He called his boys over that was here, that lived in Jersey, and where they, he came from, George Washington Bridge, he'd walk over to my block, which was 80 block walk. Go to that store, work his ass off, and then, he had enough money, bought a couple of the broken down spots, flipped them, made it to a cleaning store, made it to, he owns a branch, he owns a TD Bank branch now.
Holy shit.
And then and the thing about it is he just keeps pushing the money back, just cycling it within the family. And I'm like, good shit. Now, literally the next 7 blocks on my old neighborhood before I moved out to Jersey, I know every single one of them by name. Because I've seen that shit grow since I was, in high school. And the fucked up part is, again, to go back to the investment part and to go back into the how property breaks black families part. I've personally seen it happen constantly where it's oh, they have a deed, they have a title. Oh, who is the
who's in the will? Who's the inheritor?
Not the will, but who controls the will? Yeah.
The person who speaks for.
Yeah.
Representative or whatever.
Yeah, I forget the proper title, but I've seen them fight to damn near bare knuckle brawls where I'm like, why the fuck are you fighting over shit that's already ours? Literally. I have family members that have a few hundred acres of land out in the Midwest. We don't touch it because the minute one of us goes, the minute we come back, that's a fight. And to the point where they just said fuck it and sold something that I didn't know was in my family until fucking from the Civil War.
Hey.
How the fuck did you get that? Why the shit did you let it go? And it goes back to this part about not only black isolationism, but making your own and not sharing it. Because you see the stupidity within your family and you see what it does. That leads to some stupid ass hood shit happening and wow, okay, fine. You're fighting with your fucking cousin because they want XD or they want X title or they power of attorney. That's what it is. They want to be power of attorney over the corpse of someone you cared for. And it's and I personally said this out loud to myself. I said them. I'd rather just kill you all and go it alone.
You're on recording?
Yes. Yes. No, fuck it. They know it.
Okay.
Lawyers know it.
A Lannister always pays their debts. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, because it's basically, I'd rather kill you all on recording. Mic check, 1, 2. I'd rather slit all your fucking throats right here and now.
We can edit this later.
No, don't. And leave you motionless in a house that no one knows where you live. No one cares for you because I know your fucking building doesn't because you're cheap shits. But you still want what everyone else has because you didn't do shit. This is exactly why when this topic came up, I knew I was gonna be fucking tripping.
It's all good.
Real quick, you went straight DC on us just now.
Because it, like every single aspect of what you were talking about affecting black people, I've seen that shit.
You say it like you're not black. Oh yeah, I've seen it. No, you've experienced it.
You've experienced it.
No, because I was drawn into it.
I feel you.
It's the main reason I don't really do shit. I'd rather be a hermit and live in peace with myself and interact with any of you cunts that's gonna give me a goddamn aneurysm.
Listen, it's
while
a whole
we're
lot of
on
petty
this,
bread from a whole lot of ignorance.
I just want to mention that the other reason,
It's
the
the
mindset.
main reason why I actually help my fucking friends and those family members that I don't want dead.
Oh, jeez.
We love you too.
We're going to go to the light side. Yes,
I'm the light side. Whoa.
You on the light side right now.
I just wanted to add real quick while
Please
we're on it.
do
Like
that.
part of the mindset shift shouldn't just is learning
Y'all
to
know
work
where I
together.
stand.
Because there's people that like he just mentioned. He said the Ahmed guy, he didn't do it by himself.
Exactly.
He got his boys and they work together.
Yeah.
So the things that we need to learn to just work together to keep on building.
Yes.
And then have exponential growth within our community.
Negative
Final
effect-
word, Lamar.
Negative effect about that though. When you try that with black people, and I'm not trying to stereotype. I'm really not. But it's hard not
I can
to.
probably verify this shit.
Because, like, alright, the people you work with, they could be cool people. Their family could be cunts. And the minute you're done working and you give everyone their cut,
They're
that
not
worked.
satisfied.
It's not that they're not satisfied. It's just that those that didn't even fucking work want their share because apparently you're related to them. Nigga, please.
Well, see, entitlement.
Yeah.
From a tree with your guts. Fuck you.
Speak.
I know.
You just
I
hit the
feel
nail
you,
on the
but
head.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Yes.
that idea of entitlement, and it needs to go away. I am not obligated to do anything for you. I do it because I want to and because I care, not because I have to.
No.
No, but that's the summary of it.
But everybody wants their
I was
piece.
just gonna say that's the big difference here.
Yes.
The people who immigrate here understand and
They're
know that they
Yeah,
have to
there's
work
no
for something.
entitlement.
The people who live here feel like there is a sense of entitlement,
Yeah, and that's,
so they don't feel like they have to open up a business to be successful or or
Exactly.
keep their they feel like they have sold on that American dream. Like you can do anything you want.
it's the same
So,
reason why.
I would like to say
It's just
something.
do it
But
That's
that's
one
not.
thing.
But that's not
Not
even.
exactly.
Yeah, that's not because even with my family, my mom has tried to get her siblings to come on board on certain things, and for whatever reason, they were they were envious of my mother. There were even times when they wanted
what
to
is with this
take
jealousy
wanted
thing?
to
Like, you're
take
mad.
away
I'll tell you.
what my
trying.
mother had worked hard for.
Why you mad?
And that's why my mother is like, you know what, Precious, it's just gonna be you and Aksha. That's my older sister, because she said I tried with my own siblings. It's just gonna be now you and
Similar
your
So,
sister.
in my
Two things I want
Yeah.
to say. One thing on what you just said. What is it that some people just want to be the one to initiate the idea? They don't want it to be someone else. They want to be, I did it. It was me.
It was
yes,
me.
They want,
It
they want all that.
care. I
I
just
love
want
about
to
it myself.
that's
So,
another
that-
17 paragraph.
No. We don't need that right now.
No,
The other thing I
Hold
wanted
on
to
there.
mention is that we see things from our point of view over here. Where like people they come over here and they do this and that, and they have a focus. They come here for a purpose, for a reason, and they focus on that, and they do it. And while we're here, it's a little different. And I think it might be the same thing with people that go to other countries. Like we see the Asians, like the Chinese, for instance. They come here, they open a Chinese restaurant, or they open a dry cleaning spot, and they do that. When the people from here go over there, I think it's the same thing. Where whenever you go to another country, it's a different mentality.
Well,
Exactly.
Because
I was about to say that.
because it hits a reset button for you,
Yes.
and then everything just
And
kind of starts
also,
anew.
you don't have the same.
Like
I don't
you,
want to say entitlements, but as a non-citizen, you can't get
You're putting
over there
yourself
what
at
you
risk.
can get over here.
Like
so
you know what you
you gotta
can.
think-
You know
so
Exactly.
that's part of the reason why I think like
Exactly.
that. But that's also why I said that there needs to be.
Which
there
is
needs
why
to
I'm
be,
not mad at
there
them.
needs to be a mindset change,
Exactly.
and that's where it really starts. Once the mindset shift, then everything just kind of follows through.
Okay, last word, Lamar. Last word.
How many
As
last
I
words?
said, like the one thing that if I ever had a kid, I would install in them is that you're not entitled to shit.
I'm into that.
And if you think you are, I'll make another one of you, because apparently I went wrong somewhere.
You're entitled to stay black and die. That's what it is.
You're barely entitled to. You're the only thing in life you're entitled to is death.
True.
Like literally,
you don't have to stay black, Michael Jackson.
you
But
didn't
I digress.
You didn't choose
Whoa.
to be born here, but death is always a given. It's the only thing that
Michael
living people
was
are
black till he died.
I agree, but you know what I mean.
I know.
Remember what Mr. Stanky told us? The only thing that's permanent in life is death, man.
Yep.
He turned us into some emos. But anyways.
I don't know. It might have
You
helped
high
you.
school English AP teacher, you rock. If you ever hear this.
Yes.
You know.
All right,
love you,
fine
Mr.
then.
Stanky.
I'll put on
Brother
my
is still
shirt,
alive.
t-shirt, and still say the same shit. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Lamar, last word.
What's your last word on this?
It's
Are
okay.
we
Have all
done?
the words. We're good.
TLDR.
Are we done?
TLDR.
He's
niggas,
triggered.
Fix
Man,
your shit.
are you finished or are you done?
Are you done?
Alright,
Are we
right
done?
now, the TLDR of this is, come on niggas, fix your shit.
Put some respect on your name, right?
Exactly.
All right.
You want to put some respect on your name? Make something for yourself, help the community,
Why did I do that?
and maybe you won't be a pack of bitch ass niggas, you'll be black folk. Go.
All right. So,
All right, next topic.
real quick, short one. Nice. And
Okay,
quick and
Drax. Okay, so we all know about what happened with James Gunn, right?
Oh yes,
With Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
how
The director.
Disney was Disney fired him because of controversial tweets that he made, and now
Years
the cast
ago.
years ago. So now the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy, they have written a petition to Disney to bring him back, and now the actor who plays Drax, David Bautista, he is threatening to leave his role as Drax if Disney decides not to use James Gunn's script for Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3. Thoughts on that?
His tweets were pretty bad.
Yeah,
I like how you started that.
I'm not even gonna lie.
I like how you started
Nice
that.
summary.
Cringy. They were quite cringy.
Yeah.
Like that stuff you
It
say.
gave me douche jokes.
That's the type of stuff you say in a close-knit group of friends like this without a microphone
Yeah,
or
or
the
any
internet.
other kind of proof
Wait, so-
as to what you said.
Real quick on what you just said. Would that make it quote unquote locker room talk like Trump?
No, because he wasn't.
that kind of talk. Like he was actually talking about women and stuff. He was just cracking really nasty jokes. It would be
Doing
like
dark humor.
it would be like
Trying to
if
do dark humor.
it's like a cross between him. It's like if him and Ken did a fusion, whole like Dragon Ball Z. They'd just say some really
I
outlandish
just be
shit.
fatter.
Shut up. Because you know how I can't let you stop. That is terrible.
Okay, you can probably see the spice.
Listen. You know how Ken says some really weird stuff and
Yes.
we all just get really quiet.
Yes.
I mean, even since college days, sometimes we'd be sitting there and he'd say some weird stuff and I'd just kind of look at him like, why would you say that? Like, I know you're not that type of person, but you made me raise an eyebrow. Like, why would you say that? Now just take somebody like Ken and somebody like Lamar, fuse them together on some Dragon Ball Z shit, and that is the kind of weird jokes and commentary he was making that just kind of makes you sit there and go, like you should not have put that on Twitter. You'd be okay if you did not put that on Twitter.
You have a better
So
chance
in
put it on
essence,
MySpace.
you stupid.
I mean, the least offensive one that he made was
The rape one.
Oh,
no. There was
I know
some.
what you're
They
talking about.
he said I'm gonna make. You said something like he's gonna make a script for a movie called Jerk Loose, where there's a small tomboy who jerks off in front of a bunch of people. Just like, just like. That's what it was.
Jerk
So
loose.
here's the thing: should he be fired over jokes that he made, knowing that this weren't like this were just jokes that he made in the past? Remember, this is something I was saying last time. I was saying, he's not. He doesn't make this kind of jokes anymore. At least not in the public eye.
No, he made those jokes between 2009 and 2012, and since then,
He hasn't done it.
he hasn't done it.
Exactly.
I mean, one thing. First thing I want to say is that there's somebody out there going through people's tweets to find some
the
dirt.
reason that happened is because he criticized President Trump on something that he did, and these two conservative
Look at that.
journalists. I'm just going to use that quote because I'm not sure if they're journalists or not. I just know that
They dug up some
they're
dirt on
described as conservative.
So conservative.
Yeah, they went through his Twitter account and dug up all this stuff, and they were like, "Hey, Disney, double standard," and Disney went, "Actually, you're right."
So here's my take on it right now, real quick. It's like Disney is right in what they're doing, separate themselves from the situation and see what happens to the people.
I get you.
But I also feel like with everything going on, everyone's going to taking the, I guess, drastic route, like Drax, saying that he's gonna not be on the show. He's not gonna be in the movie if they don't use James Gunn, and they're signing a petition. All this stuff's going on. I think this is like necessary steps if Disney's actually gonna hire him back. This way, they're not just going back on their word about firing him, but they also look good in front of the people. Because at the end of the day, the company wants to look good in front of the people.
Right.
They have to protect the investment
for business. If you watch
so
WWE,
I feel like with the petition going on and Drax claiming threatening to leave, there's a things that like I said,
I think
the steps necessary in order to
they're
hire him
creating
back.
a standard. Like they want to make it a uniform standard. Like this is not okay at all. They don't want to be doing it on a case by case basis. Like all right, Roseanne. Like we fired Roseanne for making this racist joke, but we're not gonna fire her for making rape and pedo jokes. That's how it's. That's how they're. That's how it would be perceived if they let it slide.
Yeah.
And from
So
that aspect, I understand it. However, I think they're looking at it a little bit more too broadly. And if you look at it a little deeper, when I hate to say it, but when number 47,
45.
40. He's number 45?
He's P45.
All right, so we're number 45. When
he's
he,
45.
I'm of the opinion that he just is an attention whore, and he loves attention, which is why he tweets all this ridiculous stuff. Like you can't.
That he has to go back on later.
I mean, but that's a given. Like he tweets all this stuff, and the news reports on it right away, and it's just like we watch, and I watch, and I like, he doesn't mean it. Nothing's gonna come of this.
Yeah, he's a reaction tweeter.
No, he's just tweeting to get attention.
Yeah.
Like that's literally all he's doing.
He gets reactions from people.
He's literally doing.
It's also still like
he's
his
literally.
reactions are his opinions on whatever he's feeling at the moment that he decides to throw.
It doesn't matter what. It doesn't matter. It's not even. If he could do. It doesn't. Twitter is just the easiest way for him to get attention.
Yeah,
if it weren't that.
Yeah.
If it weren't that, it'd be
It's the
something else.
quickest way.
He could be like, "Oh my god!"
But we're getting off tangent. I'm losing my train of thought here.
Yeah.
My thing is.
I should have flashed. Sorry.
My thing is when you make certain jokes, people assume that you. I mean, there's a certain line with jokes, and people assume if you make jokes of a certain nature, that means that you really. That means that's what you really think.
Yeah.
So if you make a joke like if you're a comedian, you make a joke like black people are always this or white people are always that. I don't think it's gonna be taken the same way as if
You were making jokes about your own race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you make a sex joke, like if you make a rape joke, not everyone is going to assume you're a rapist. But if you're a white person and you use the N-word talking about black people on Twitter and saying people look like a monkey, people are pretty much going to assume you're racist. People aren't going to think you're joking, And
depending on
I
who
think,
you are within the other one,
I think that's where the debate is coming from. Like people, in their opinion, don't think he crossed that line. People aren't looking at us and saying, okay, he's saying this because he's actually a rapist and he actually likes child pornography.
But the thing about it is when you do.
But we're not. That's the thing though. These are just screenshots. We don't see the context.
Yeah.
He's probably retweeting someone who's probably in the middle of a fucked up conversation. We don't know. Literally the tweet in question is a screenshot of all these tweets taken out of context. And yes, they're pretty bad.
But we have no
idea what the context is,
Agreed.
And again, I'm not sure what his career was like, but the other trend I noticed is that a lot of these people
weren't doing that much
at that time,
exactly.
right? Like he might have been a much smaller time director or something. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Right, he stopped in 2012, right?
Something
Guardians of the Galaxy, the first Guardians of the Galaxy was in 2013 or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
13 or 14.
It was
We could look
2013,
it up, I don't
2013
remember.
or 2014. Someone can look that up.
Something like that.
But yeah, it was. I feel like if you look at it, it's like, oh shit, my real job. I gotta calm down with this Twitter stuff. And I don't think, me personally, I'm not of the opinion that I'm meaning that he made these jokes, and while they were offensive, I don't think they say anything about him as a person. I feel like if you're gonna, you can't really, as a company, make that. You don't have the freedom to make that distinction. Like you can't risk that. But him as a person, I think you're just making jokes, and I think that's why his co-stars and everyone are like rallying behind him. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they see it from ABC's point of view. Like they simply can't take that risk. Not in this climate. Yeah. You have to set a standard, and it's a zero tolerance standard right now. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, that's why I was saying what I said. Where with everything else going on, I think those would be necessary steps to get him back. I feel like this could end with him coming back on.
It takes some time though, like Chris
maybe
Brown.
Maybe not to be a director, but maybe a producer.
Yeah, I think to come back as a director for Guardians 3. Because what I'm saying is this: okay, so they're doing a petition. Drax is threatening to leave. If he really does leave the movie, like the character himself, I don't care for. But
no
as
one
far
cares.
as Guardians as a whole, Guardians as a whole, he's a part of it, and it's part of what.
Cody Rhodes became 3 shades darker between Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. So
yeah, he really did though.
So just in general, it will be a different movie altogether if they don't have the same director. And I guess if you want to consider that, along with the fact that these guys are really out here fighting for him, and it's not like he's really that kind of a person.
Exactly.
He said some really bad stuff, and he's definitely not going to do it again. So if you look at all that, and he comes out with another statement, like some kind of apology statement or whatever, and they take the necessary public relation-related steps to appease the public, I feel like he could get his job back.
Yeah.
Maybe.
In time for Guardians 3.
His record was good aside from that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. As far as we know.
Not like he's.
Yeah. Unless some girl comes up tomorrow talking about how she slapped him in her.
I'm gonna give it a Chris Brown timeline. How many Chris Browns is it gonna take for him to get his career back? Because when Chris Brown beat up Rihanna, it took him 2 years. Yeah. So how many Chris Browns? Is it 1.5 Chris Browns?
But it's not like he's
taking
a
half Chris Brown.
He'll be fine with
It's just a Chris. It's just Chris.
Dude,
an eighth of a Chris Brown.
Taking the script and going, my young brother. like right in the freaking.
I'm just saying, his career.
Are we making abuse jokes here?
Of course.
I'm just saying, because he's been dropped by Disney. If he tries to do anything else, everyone's gonna be like, oh. You're aligned with this heathen keyboard warrior. But if time passes, because if he gets hired, if he does another production and gets picked up by someone else, that's exactly who's gonna go after him. The keyboard warriors. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, they hired him. I'm hyperventilating. I need my inhaler. After some time, it's gonna be oh yeah, that guy. He did that one thing. He did that one thing. He made those.
He fucked up.
Yeah, he's alright. Let him do it.
Whatever. We don't care.
But it's funny that this happened. Remember what happened to the actor Isaiah Washington when he supposedly he was on Grey's Anatomy, and he called one of his gay co-stars the F word. And since then he hasn't been and he wasn't able to. Isaiah Washington hasn't really been able to bounce back with his career. So who knows if James
because LGBT is very big. So
and
they're in a lot.
We're not going to talk about LGBT right now.
I'm just
pedophilia.
Yeah.
But
I'm just saying that would explain why it's hard for him to get back on it, because they're very prominent in that career field. So they're all looking at him like.
A majority of them are the Twitter warriors. I'm just saying.
While we're on James Gunn, I want to mention something that happened after the James Gunn situation. There's a what is she? A tech analyst? No, a tech writer named Sarah Jeong, who got hired by New York Times recently, and then some jokes she made came out, and they, it was a
Oh
similar
yeah, I read
situation.
about that.
But the New York Times didn't fire her. They stood by her. They're saying
what was
that
the
they're saying
joke?
that
They
I have to
didn't
find
release
it.
them.
Oh.
They
Well,
didn't release them, but
Yeah.
basically, the New York Times said that they said they knew about the jokes way beforehand. They interviewed her, and because she's such, her opinion, her as a person and her opinion is going to be core to what she's doing. They had to get to know who she was as a person.
Yeah.
So they interviewed her, and they determined that
Probably background check.
Yeah.
they determined that those tweets were
Irrelevant.
they were relevant to who she was as a person. Basically, they were relevant to the conversation. She was making a fucked up joke, but they don't mean anything to her. They don't say anything about who she is as a person.
Yeah.
And according to her, she claimed that those tweets were a response to things that were going
Yeah,
on.
I read them,
Exactly.
but I don't remember if they
But
were a
they
response
weren't
to someone
like,
else.
She said they were responses, but they were just standalone tweets. It wasn't like she was replying to somebody. She just kind of said it on their own.
So
I guess we'll have to be
But
doing
they-
that time.
But they were responses. I read the tweets that they were like.
They were response to
Yeah,
it.
they were. She was responding to someone, and it wasn't like a messed
But
up
it wasn't
joke.
like she,
it was
wasn't
more.
like she, wait,
it
it
was
wasn't like she hit reply.
no. It was a
She literally
snarky.
just tweeted those on their own.
It was a snarky reply. It was basically a snarky retort to or remark to something that someone else said. It was basically a smart ass clapback because this other person said something stupid and she defended herself or insulted them. But it was just it was just the way she said what she said. If she had said it differently, that wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so we're good. We're good.
Yeah,
Next
'cause of
topic. All right, next topic. Slim Thug.
Alright, you gotta fill me in.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so Slim Thug, he's a rapper from Houston. I only know him from his collaboration that he did with Beyonce with her music Check on
Me
It.
Tonight.
Yeah, that song. That's the only song I know him from. But anyways, he went
Oh,
on the radio.
Wait, before we go, it was also on that song of Mike Jones. If you remember Mike Jones.
No, I don't.
All right,
Him
next.
and
All
Paul
right.
Wall.
Okay. Anyways, he went on a radio show in Houston, and he basically gave his opinions about the relationship of Ciara and Russell Wilson. So this is what he said. Do a woman who used to talk to Future really want a Russell Wilson? Slim Thug wondered on the radio, but quickly answered his own question. I don't believe it. I think it is all for financial stability. Then he went on to say that Russell Wilson is corny. And then he said, I don't believe a girl coming from a street dude would even adapt to a square like Wilson.
Oh, you sound all kinds of ignorant.
So what are your thoughts on that? Why do you think, I've noticed one thing, ever since Ciara got with Russell Wilson, a lot of men, particularly black men, have been saying negative things.
Them black men, let's just call them salty niggas.
Okay.
'Cause they are salty niggas.
Okay, let me not say black men. Some black men, and it's a particular group of
The salty
black
ones,
men. Yes, the salty
The
ones
sodium abuse.
are saying negative things about Ciara. They called Russell Wilson a simp. They said that he should have never gotten with Ciara, who had a child with Future, that she's used up, and Russell Wilson is basically Captain Save-A-Hole. They even started calling Ciara They even started calling Ciara a hoe. The only man that I know of that she dated within what 6 or 10 years span or Bow Wow, 50, and then Future.
I knew about Bow Wow. I kind of stopped after Bow Wow because
She said I lost count.
Like Bow Wow, like we were in high school. Like I cared. I don't anymore.
Yeah, I remember Bow Wow. I remember Bow Wow in high school because Bow Wow was big during the time we were in high school, and then they made some song together.
I ain't never had nobody show me all the things you didn't show me in the special way I feel. When you home and we gon' always be together, baby. That's what you told me. I ain't never had nobody do it like
you. Yeah, that song.
I love that song.
I like that song.
I love that
We just
song.
had a nostalgic.
Karaoke. But back to the
Yes, yes.
We will karaoke one day.
Yeah. So they're calling her a hoe and all this other stuff. They're saying. So why is it you believe that these salty N words are salty Negroes are saying these negative things about Sierra and Russell Wilson. And after you guys putting your 2 cents out,
first of all, that doesn't make her a hoe. Second of all, she got a kid, doesn't make her used up.
Thank you.
And if you feel that way, just don't date her, I guess.
If that's the case,
seriously.
if that's the case, half of the population of these salty motherfuckers will be used up as well.
Thank you.
That's stupid.
Like, how you got anything left to give? How many women y'all been through? Take a seat.
That's what I'm saying. Most of these salty N-words, they're not saying anything negative about Future. They're not saying anything negative about Fetty Wap, who has 8 or 9 baby mamas.
Who needs to watch
So let me get something out before you guys get your opinion real quick. Let me get one thing out of it. The only place I feel like Sarah messed up, in my opinion, is having a baby, dating Future in the first place. Any woman that's messing with Future at this point and having babies for him, in my opinion, honestly, you're stupid because he's just going around having baby mamas left and right.
I'm sorry. If
He's like he has a checklist or something.
If you want to
seriously,
using that Molly and Percocet,
get your mind right.
Well,
exactly. I mean, he
has
the money to take care of them.
How was your game, la-di-da-di-da?
I
thought that was a joke. Yo, I saw that. That was a real song.
That's a real song.
That was on the
King's Dead. King's Dead.
Yes.
No, but that's how I felt about Kanye.
Kendrick can say that.
When it came out, I was like, that's a real song. I did not know that was not. I was like, wait, that's real.
Yes,
that's how he feels about that Future song.
Yes.
I was like, wait, that's
but here's my. So everybody gave their
sounds
2
like very
cents.
sweet.
Give your 2 cents.
Okay, no, I didn't. I was going to say I agree. Well, I agree with what Jimmy said. I just feel like they're mad because they're not with her. Yeah. Because these were probably people who a while back were idolizing Sierra, like most guys were. So it's like you're just mad because she's happy now and there's no more drama for y'all to feed off of. Get your life.
That's
they want her back where she was in the Petey Pablo dance days.
Right. Not my goodies. Yeah. That's what you want. No.
These are my thoughts on it. Number one, I feel as if these salty N-words, go ahead, Lamar, say it.
These people, go ahead.
These people, the reason why they are upset about this whole thing is once they know that women will wise up and make better decisions in regards to choosing partners, they will be left out. Point blank, period. And Sierra is the example. And Sierra is an example of me choosing better because I want better. That's basically you're tired of the bullshit. I'm choosing better because I want better. That's what she told herself. So she went after, and she didn't even go after Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was the one that was interested in her after he divorced his first wife because his first wife cheated on him. None of you bitter mother effers are even mentioning that. And so he went after Sierra, and Sierra, she happily obliged.
He pursued, she responded. He pursued, she responded.
Yes.
They're happy, you're not.
Exactly.
Too bad, get your life.
And then number 2, a lot of these salty, a lot of these salty Negroes, I feel as if they're surrounded by women who, like Fetty Wap's baby mamas, even some of Future's baby mamas, who for some reason they're not able to get over their baby daddy.
They perpetuate the nonsense.
So some of these women, they become bitter. They go and fight after their baby daddy. They sit down and be miserable, and that's what that's what they wanted Sierra to do. That's what they were hoping for.
But here's the thing: baby mama number 1 goes and fights baby mama number 2. Why you ain't gonna slap up the guy for getting baby mama number 2 pregnant? You mad at the wrong person.
Exactly. So I just think that, and I even want to say some more things. I might offend some people.
Go ahead, offend them. Let them be offended.
Tell
them lick their lips until they taste salty.
This is the time, we're in that time and age where people like to dig shit up and use it against you. So
yeah, I don't think I'm going to
we won't go that route on the air.
I'll say it offline, but I just think they want that cycle of when a woman gets wronged by a guy, she becomes bitter.
They
she
like
becomes
broken chicks.
Yeah, she becomes bitter. She becomes miserable.
She becomes easy to manipulate.
Exactly, and that's what they wanted for Sierra. They wanted Sierra.
They want drama.
They wanted Sierra.
They want a spectacle.
They like broken chicks.
Yeah.
Because they're the easiest to.
And then for them to take Slim Thug's word as gospel, some of these salty you-know-whats, they don't even know that Slim Thug is a Lannister. How is it that he's a Lannister? This man was dating LaToya Luckett. If you don't know who she is, she was one of the former and original members of Destiny's Child. Slim Thug was dating LaToya Luckett for a number of years. And then I knew about him cheating on her, but I didn't know who the hell he cheated on her with. He cheated on LaToya Luckett with his own cousin. And not only that, he got her pregnant.
So now he's Uncle Mom and Uncle Dad.
Yes. So somebody tell Cersei Lannister that she has a long lost cousin because she needs some allies, okay, bitch? So a lot of people. True. So I don't understand how these salty you-know-whats are here taking the word from a man who has baby mamas himself, who ruined a good relationship with a good woman from what I see, and who has to continuously see the former woman, LaToya Luckett, see her get remarried to a guy that's similar to Russell Wilson, and now she's pregnant by this guy. She's doing her own life. So I think he's salty himself that he allowed the one to get away, and he's projecting that on Sierra and Russell Wilson.
Because of fucker mad.
What I was gonna say is, you said Sierra dated thugs or whatnot, and now she's dating a quote unquote lame.
First of all, when was Bow Wow ever a thug?
Exactly.
And second of all, what makes Russell a lame? I don't understand that. What makes Russell Simmons a lame? I don't know. But all I want to say is that how would you know when another person that you're not even associated with is ready to do whatever she's ready to do? You're not in her life. You can't speak for her. That's the first thing.
Plus, do they not realize that a lot of these acts that they put on our personas, a lot of them don't even act like that in real life. You wouldn't be able to differentiate them from the next gamer at a convention sans cosplay me. Like, come on.
And that's not
that serious.
And the second thing is that first point you made, I agree with that very well, because she dated thugs, right? Cool, she dated thugs, and now she's probably she probably look back and she's Sierra. Let's claim she did it. Let's claim she Bow Wow included. He's a thug, whatever. So let's claim she did it. Let's claim she did it a bunch of thugs, and actually she looks back on her life. She's like this direction is not gonna work for me.
Exactly.
It's time to move on. She grew up. She's grown up and she's moving on to bigger, better things.
And
whatever she's doing now, from my point of view, looks like it's working for her. So go find someone. Go to therapy.
Have you ever heard that saying, crazy is doing the same thing over and over and expecting
definition
different
of
results?
The definition is
Yeah, right. Well, guess what? I need some freaking different results. So we gonna try something different.
Yes. And why is it within? And I don't mean to
harp on this.
Yes, but
it's okay.
Why is it within the black community somebody who
does good,
someone who does better, someone who's financially stable, somebody who is a go-getter, someone like Russell Wilson is considered a lame? Why is that? Why is that?
We're going back to this topic.
Trigger you? No, don't you dare. No. TLDR. There needs to be a mindset change among blacks in this country. We focused on the wrong things. We caught up in the wrong shit, and we need a mental bleaching and a reset and a do-over.
Well, if you expect them to stop acting like that, they might have to stop by stop killing each other in the first place.
That's exactly.
Even before you get to that,
that's a whole episode.
That's a whole other conversation you're about to start up there. About them not acting like what you just said.
What, niggas?
Yeah, because that would be the low end. If you're on the high end, you're a lame. If you're on a low end,
in the first place,
they're that.
In my opinion. Because what you're speaking to, that's another topic as well.
No, I feel you.
I'll say that. We're on the same page.
Jimmy, I agree.
Leave that alone. I don't know. It's not. I'm just saying it's another topic altogether. So I'm leaving it
I
alone.
know. It's like that thing where if you're on the high end of it, then you're a lame, you're a square, you're acting white. If you're on the low end of it, then you're that word. Like,
All right,
just
fine.
stop. People are what they are, where they are. And gotta
And-
stop labeling.
And one more thing
Please,
before
go
we
ahead,
leave
preach,
this
sister.
topic.
You don't say too much, so please do.
Why is it women are condemned for their mistakes, but men are not?
Oh, can
first,
we not get into
but
all that?
Okay.
I'll tell you
No,
why.
I feel
First,
it.
it would have to be seen as a mistake for the man before it could be condemned for it. So the fact that we don't view it as a mistake on the man's part is part of the
is
problem.
part-
So
Wrong.
why? Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Why
that's
isn't
what I'm
it viewed as a
saying. Why is it men are like the
baby
vitriol
mamas is a norm
the
because-
vitriol that Sierra is going through. You don't hear these same salty N words. Doing the same thing with Future, doing the same thing with Fetty Wap, doing the same thing with Slim Thug. But yet, when their baby mamas come after them for child support, that's when these salty N words start
Insulate
speaking.
curse.
Yes,
No.
insolent curves.
What's insulate?
I mean, it's a better. I mean, instead of
It's a better way
saying
of
salty
saying it.
N word.
Rapscallion.
All right. So real quick.
All right, because of that's
It means
kind
Like,
Basically,
it's
it means that an insulin car is someone who
Ignorant
has no
fool.
right to complain.
Ignorant fool.
Salty, ignorant fools. There you go. And then,
like that.
why is it these same salty, ignorant fools do not warn their fellow brothers?
Because-
Listen, wrap it up if you know you don't want to get your money. You know,
because
sliced in
because
seven
it
you're
different
celebrating
ways,
it
you know?
feels better raw. That's why.
Well, besides that, it's true. But confirmed. Hence why I exist. But like it's because. Because look, I already was told, so I know. I am a confirmation of your entire reason of
got
your
a shot.
entire question. But like the thing about it is, in the black community, a lot of times females are denigrated for any type of fuck ups, especially sexually. But men,
Let's not even go there.
their fuck ups they're told to wear like a badge of honor. It's like
Like, yeah, own that shit.
nigga, you learn.
You'll be
You
alright.
learn, man. You good though. You good.
It's part of life. You growing up. It's alright. It's
Yeah.
alright.
And
Everybody needs therapy.
Yes,
Yes.
you do.
Yes.
I think at the end of
Yes.
the day, it kind of
Myself
goes to that
included.
over.
Yeah.
I think
That
at
part
the
out.
end of the day, it goes to that overreaching
Nah, that stays in
expectation
AWOL.
of, or not expectation, but that view, that overreaching cultural view of, oh, boys will be boys, men are gonna do what they do, and women are supposed to hold it together and be cornerstones. So there is no room for mistakes or fuck ups because you gotta hold shit down, and at times keep your man in check. So if you over here with all this shit going on, then they're
See.
like, oh well, how can you
See.
even keep your whole household together or your life if you can't, hold down yourself? And then they'll start complaining about that.
One of the
That's just
major-
one theory. No, I don't believe that, so don't come after me.
Real quick,
No,
was
it's-
Sierra and Future married?
No.
No.
Thank God.
Yeah. Oh God.
All right. And our last and final topic.
Because of time.
Insecure. Season 3 is coming out this Sunday.
That
What
was
are your
positive.
thoughts?
Ready.
I am ready.
Sing it.
Well, so far we know that Lawrence will not be making.
My boy
Oh,
Lawrence.
yes.
My boy Lawrence is one of my favorite characters too.
Really?
I like Lawrence.
I understand, but Issa's explanation for not bringing Lawrence.
I mean,
It's
it
about
makes perfect
Issa.
sense.
It's about
Yeah,
It
Issa.
makes
That's
perfect
about
sense.
Issa, yeah.
I just want to see Lawrence on screen one more time because it's my homeboy. You know.
Every black man loves Lawrence. They love Lawrence.
What?
Wait,
What?
hold on.
What?
All right, I
Listen.
haven't caught up as
Lawrence
much.
did
I haven't
no
caught up as
wrong.
much, and please, I don't mind spoilers. So, please summarize.
From what I can remember so
Whoa,
far.
whoa,
From what I can
whoa,
remember.
Summarize Lawrence for me, please.
I got you. I got you.
You
So,
summarize.
Jimmy, say what you said about Lawrence.
I said, from what I can remember, let me put it that way because I said technically, but let me just fix my phrase properly to get the right
Shoot
words
your
out.
shot.
From what I can remember right now at this very moment, because you're gonna run me up some stuff real
Her
quick.
trap card is ready.
I know that's why I'm setting myself up, to be on a nice side.
Come on,
From what I can remember at this time, Lawrence didn't do much of any wrong, really per se. Go.
All right. So
What is
Issa and Lawrence have been together.
What is a Lawrence?
She's gonna.
Why is a Lawrence?
Look,
Right?
Lamar. We could go in detail. We don't have time for
We don't
Lawrence
have time,
details.
but
We'll go with that later.
Lawrence and Issa, they were together for 5 years, right?
Something like that.
And then for the I think for the 4 years of their relationship, he was unemployed, right? Yes. So he was unemployed for 4 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
And within those 4 years, all he was doing was sitting on the couch. Yes, he was working on his app, but beyond working on his app,
You were supposed to contribute.
he was supposed to contribute. And at least, like, if you have a dream, work on your dream, but make sure you have something to hold
But
you
if you broke,
financially.
at least clean the house.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Lawrence didn't
If
even
you
do that.
if
Lawrence
you
was
just
sitting
go-
on the couch.
You're right.
Lawrence was sitting on the couch, bummed out, looking like a straight bum.
Yes,
And then
he did.
when season 1 started, he forgot Issa's birthday. So what did Issa do? She had that wondering eye. Who wished her happy birthday on her birthday? Daniel.
Damn, Daniel.
Look, Daniel just wanted to hit it for a very long time.
They both did.
I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of you men
he was
forget that
away.
it's the little things count. So
Yes,
if
they do.
Let me tell you-
they forget the little things count. I understood. I don't need to personalize this, but I went through what Issa went through, especially when you
So
with
did I.
somebody and somebody forgot your birthday. I know how that felt. Okay, but I didn't cheat like
Happy
Issa did.
birthday. Everybody wish happy birthday real
It
quick.
ain't
ain't
her
her
birthday.
So what? It's once a year every year. Does it matter?
I'm just looping text that says happy birthday.
but
It was
yes.
363.
and then when he finally said, all right, let me go get a job, he went and got the job at Best Buy, right? And then he got the job at Best Buy, and then when he finally got the job at the tech company, he got the job. He went back home to Issa. You know what he told Issa? You know what, let me quit this job because I know more than the people that hired me.
Let her finish.
And Issa looked at him like, are you serious? Yeah, why would you do that? You know, why would you want to do that? Stay in this job, learn from the job, and then maybe that can help you with
Better
He
yourself.
Yeah, better yourself.
He felt like he couldn't learn from the job.
huh?
He said it's better. He felt like he couldn't learn
He
from the
felt
job.
like he was dead in
But
it.
if he was
That's why
better
I'm
than the job, he would have been successful on his own.
Well,
No,
he's,
no, no,
what
no,
did he?
no,
What
not
did he?
exactly.
Well, see, here's the
Not
thing about
exactly.
that. Here's the thing about that. What he thinking it is one thing. Acting on it is another.
Yes.
So he thought about it and he double checked with his girl. That's not a bad thing.
I know it's not a bad
Yeah.
thing. I know
So
it's
you
not
can't
a
say
bad
he's
thing.
wrong for that.
I know it's not a bad
All
thing,
right.
but if
You're
Issa-
mad that he had that thought. I get
I'm
it.
mad that he
Ain't no
had
rent
that
with
thought.
Listen,
But that's part of thinking out loud.
listen.
Rather than keeping that thought in his mind, and if he had come and said, "Oh yeah, I quit that job," they can't.
No,
teach him
then
that.
there'd be a problem.
Then that'd be a problem.
Look,
But he
my
came
thing
to her and
is,
said, "Yo, I'm thinking about this," and she's like, "Yo, why would you think about this?" So that's like boom, boom, boom.
I was gonna say
Pounds thoughts
she-
back and forth.
She should not have spazzed on him for that because there are a lot of people who are more ambitious in life and want more than a dead-end job. If you're okay with being where you are and knowing that you could probably be doing better, but it's not that serious, and you just need something to pay the bills and get on with life, fine. I get that he was more ambitious with that, and I do agree with Jimmy. He checked in first. It's not like he made a rash decision of, oh, I'm quitting, I'm not even talking to you. Now, the way she spazzed at him was kind of unnecessary. Sometimes I feel like there was confrontation when there didn't need to be it based on how somebody said something. I see this in a lot of black shows, but it's always that tone of voice and the way you come at somebody. All for diplomatics. And you're supposed to check. We've been together 5 years. We're considering a marriage thing. Yeah. You bringing something to the table, I'm bringing something to the table. So yes, we need to know what's going on. You can't just go up doing shit and not telling me.
So
We're fine.
on Lawrence,
That-
him being a bum at home for all those years is messed
That-
up.
that's
Yes.
the issue.
Yeah.
My thing is,
Better learn how to
what I'm
cook
saying,
5-star
is
meals
this.
when I come home, bro.
You better learn how to Google.
So yes, one thing I
five-star
want to I want to find out because
Yeah.
little side note, almost side note. If Issa was holding it down by herself for all those years, right? Why did it become harder for her to hold it down all by herself after Lawrence left? Because she mentioned it. That's part of why she moved. She said she can't do it by herself anymore.
Gentrification.
Yeah. Her rent went up.
Her
Yeah,
rent-
her rent
All
went
right,
up.
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, the
But that
neighborhood
side,
changes.
all right, cool. I just want to clarify that.
And
All
then
right.
if you think
So
about
here's
it,
the thing.
she's there, and it's like you're paying for two people.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like food wise and whatnot?
Food wise.
You're
And
paying-
if
you're
he's
paying
there
for
and he's
everything.
bumming
You're
all
paying
day,
for
that
wood.
means my electric
Yeah.
is up,
Wow.
my water is
Yeah.
up.
There's
Wow. unemployment checks.
Not for all those years.
Yeah, for a little while.
I don't think unemployment. Well, I mean, I don't know what the rules are in Cali, but
No, he was.
I don't think
getting
unemployment
money,
goes for that long.
But they stopped after a certain point, and then that's when it got.
But what I really want to focus on,
Yeah.
what I really want to focus on is the fact that whether the person is messing up or not messing up, right? You're in a relationship. If you want to do something outside a relationship, then just break it off and do what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
felt as if
So
Issa,
even
that's one thing Issa
he could have
did
forgotten
wrong.
50 birthdays.
She should have broken up with him
And just ended one
and
time.
ended it one time.
What she did
should
was
have
she
done
came
that.
back and she's trying to do all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
That
that
right
was. I have to admit that was
because
Issa's.
one thing Lawrence messed
Yeah.
up as far as like financials goes,
Yeah.
but and also forgetting her birthday and a few other things that I could have just the little things that you said. He messed up there, but I guess that's part of the grand scheme of things too.
Yeah.
He didn't. He messed up.
They both messed.
They both have their faults. They both have
I
their
like
faults.
how you were just trying to give a positive point.
I'm trying to defend Lawrence in some way, shape, or form. All right.
Like Issa,
Because
she's,
what I'm
her
saying is that my
character
thing is that
passive aggressive. She's very passive aggressive. She doesn't like to
passive
confront
aggressive
things.
is not. I guess it probably had its place. I don't know, but for the most part,
It's not
because
good
there's
for a
more problems
relationship.
than solving it. No, if she had just been upfront with how she was feeling, he might have pick up things a lot quicker.
And men are not mind readers.
Yeah, we're really
They
not mind
are
readers.
not.
That's one. Two, if she didn't want to, if she was
It's called women's intuition for a reason.
Yeah.
she should have either that or she could decide that she's tired of it at an earlier stage and just end it one time.
Yeah.
Done with it.
Yeah.
But I guess experience is the best teacher, so that's another thing right there.
In season 3, she's now living with Daniel.
She's gonna be living with Daniel.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do you think that's gonna go? Any predictions?
I mean,
I just hope
they'll have sex.
Cheeks.
She's gonna
Cheeks red.
They're gonna have sex.
she's gonna string him along.
Huh?
You said she's gonna string him along.
Yeah, she's gonna string him along.
That's what she was doing for a little
That's
while
what she did
That's
that
one
in
thing I
season
didn't
2.
like. Yeah, I didn't like how she treated Daniel. I have to say that.
She's
I did
still
not
gonna
like-
treat
I mean,
him the way.
Daniel has in the beginning was talking about he was trying to kiss her, and then he's talking about how relationship what, and then he's saying, "How can you never give me a chance?" I'm just like,
Oh
dude,
yeah, that pissed
pick
me
a side.
Yeah, that pissed me off about
Like
Daniel.
you're all over the place, bro.
You don't
and then he
remember?
hit it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So
I know that he was her what if.
But after a while, there was just like it was
every woman
clear,
has
like
their what ifs.
like
That's what everybody
they're
has
hanging
their
out
what
'cause
if.
they just
Everybody
wanna get it
has
in.
A lot better.
like let's be real. They after when all was
You
said
think
and
I have
done,
a
they
what
just
if?
Yes, everybody.
I mean, yeah, there's Janelle Monáe, but you know.
That's everyone's
what about the queen?
Go ahead, Stephen. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say after season 1, as Molly put it, they just had to fuck towards for each other. That's all it was leading up towards. After that happened, it was like okay. Then it was like she broke up, and it was like he's like, oh, actually, you know what? Can we? And she's like, no, no. And she kind of led him on. No, kind of. She did lead him on.
Yeah,
Yeah, she did.
And even now, she's still kind of leading them on.
Yeah.
Because now they're living together, and they're like, there's that thing there, but I don't think she's
She's not willing to
The impression
support
that-
as much as he is.
He has the other side of it though.
They haven't talked about what they are.
Here's the other side of it. Daniel is dumb for trying to get with Issa right now.
Yes.
Only because she just came out of a relationship. Any woman that came out of a relationship, you should not be trying
Well,
to
he's
get
looking
with
at her like a bottle of Sprite because he just wants to quench his thirst.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's part of the problem. He needs to calm down because she just came out of a relationship. Right now, I don't think she really knows what she wants in her life.
Of course
She
not.
needs to.
doesn't.
She has some figuring out to do.
Yeah.
You
Hence
should
the
look.
title
So
of the
this
show.
no, that's insecure. I was about to say the title for the season needs to be called Instability because that's what's happening.
Indecisive.
Yeah, there you go. Because that's what's happening right now.
She's already in.
Are you surprised that Daniel took her into his household after how she treated him, especially the episode with the blowjob?
Yeah.
No, I'm not surprised.
Yes and no, because
Like-
they have a history.
Like
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
something
There's a
there
history.
because
They have a history.
in season 2 they didn't see each other,
Like-
and then they met at that one party, and it's like they were just talking like they were ignoring each other. She went out of her way to ignore him, and then when they talked, they got along. And like they realized, okay, there's still something there. We still get along.
And
But
you know-
for him, he's still caught up, and for her, it's more like a comfort thing.
Yeah. But again, back to what Jimmy
So
said,
he's getting
he
cozy.
should not be pursuing right
It
now.
should not.
She
Support
is
him if he
literally
feels so.
like she is
Yeah.
literally going to him for comfort and safety and
Yeah.
nothing else.
If he chooses
So, who's getting
to
the pity sex
provide
here?
that's on
He's
him.
living with her, but yeah.
But if he chooses, remember, ain't no obligation here. You can't expect her to put out just doing that.
No, but that's the thing I was saying. There's a disconnect between why they think they're there. Like, she's there, that's why she's there. But
she's there because
but
you're
they
old friend,
they
have
both.
history. I feel safe around you. You're my comfort, and let me get my shit together.
But
He's
they-
like,
but-
maybe I have
but
a
he-
chance. Maybe she does like me. Maybe there's something.
And there's no conversation there
Exactly. Communication is key, people.
Yeah.
because it's like there's like a will they
said
won't they thing, and then in her mind she's like that's settled, and in his mind it's not, you know.
There's no communication.
Because like you said, this whole thing started with him having a chip on his shoulder because he was like he wanted to be with her and he never got that chance. Maybe he's
Well,
looking.
technically, he did have the chance that night in the first episode of season 1.
That's
But
true.
When she was about to break up with Lawrence. The thing with Issa, she did what I hate what some people do before they break up with
They
their
check themselves.
exactly before they break up with their boyfriend or girlfriend. They go out and see if they can immediately
Like,
move
they
out
were
to
going
the
out.
next person.
Like, they
so
were-
she did that with Daniel, and Daniel was like, "Whoa, I don't want a relationship."
But you gotta remember though,
I just
before
wanna
that,
hit it.
Oh,
you gotta
no,
remember
no, no,
before
no.
that night, he hit her up. They hit each other up, and there was like 1 or 2 Facebook messages saying, "Hey, I'm performing. You want to check it out?"
Yeah.
It was literally just like a
Hey.
Facebook reconnect after years apart. And the first night you see each other, it's like, "What do you think about relationships?" It's like, you pump the brakes too.
Exactly.
I ain't seen you in years. We just reconnected on Facebook. Literally
Like,
2-3
damn,
messages. I said, "Come see your boy. I'm
So
in
then,
town."
what made his feelings change? Was it episode 6 when she slept with Daniel, cheated on Lawrence with Daniel? What changed? What made Daniel change?
They spent so much time together.
Yeah.
Remember?
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. She went
did.
out of her way. Like she,
First half.
like Precious. They were doing things. They were spending time and doing things where it's like, okay, you
They were
don't
doing
have to do
relationship
this.
level shit.
Yeah, you don't have to spend time with this
They
dude
ran
to do
errands
what you need
together.
to
Remember,
do.
Issa's car was broken down. He was driving her around.
Yeah.
That's season 2.
Oh, I'm speaking.
I'm talking about season 1.
I'll reverse.
When after they whatchamacallit,
The
the
broken
only
pussy
time-
thing. The broken pussy thing.
That was episode 1.
That was
and
her.
the only time Daniel and Issa spent time with each other is when she had the music thing at the school that she
because he was helping her to take that off the internet and help her clear her name and stuff. So they were having some kind of conversation and seeing each other and communicating.
But that's only 2
Between
days of
that
communication.
Well, what it is just
And then, again, on
it
top
brings
of
back
that,
old. It brings
it
back
is
old
different.
emotions.
It is different, and I can say this from it is different when it is somebody you have a history with.
Yeah.
And one more thing, Daniel wanted to hit it just to hit it, right?
The first date.
Initially.
Yes and
Maybe
no.
maybe
that
the
was-
idea of a relationship
Day
comes up
ones.
because she's like she would prefer a relationship, and he probably thinks to himself, I wouldn't mind being with her because
Because he wanted to be with her before anyway.
Yeah.
so
Again,
all that comes
history
up.
comes into play. If he
Also-
was some new dude off the street, it'd be like, whoa.
Like I
hold up.
said, they
But-
they literally reconnected after years apart. If I reconnected you after years apart, just to say, come check me out on my show, and when we start, and then we had a attraction to each other, and then in the car you start talking about being boyfriend and girlfriend again, I'd
like,
pump the
wait a
brakes a little bit too. It's like
On both
Like,
the car
let's
and-
talk a little bit. I literally just saw you. Like, we're dragged, like, in a way, you literally don't know anything about you.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
And then at the same time, it's still initial attraction because it's like, yeah, I may not have seen
I mean,
you in a bit.
they might go into it and break it down for us, you
in
know,
season
season
3,
3.
since they're
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
I
But you
just,
can't really
I
speak
get
for
what
it.
you're, I get what
I
you're
look
saying,
forward
Steven,
to
but
it.
I just didn't like how at that. What
Icemaker. What's up?
Don't worry, the refrigerator is shit. You're fine.
They're not even done.
I just
Dropping-
didn't.
Sound.
dropping
I
bricks.
just
Scroll
didn't
down.
like how whatchamacallit, the first episode. I get what you're saying, but then in the other episode when they were right before they were going to sleep with each other, he's gonna accuse Issa of not giving him a chance. So that's where I'm upset with Daniel.
Well, he's saying give him a chance.
Well, maybe he
In the
meant, like,
past.
before in the
Before,
past,
in the
not,
past.
like,
I think they were
because...
talking in general.
And then they went through what happened about
Yeah.
Yeah.
this, that,
Yeah.
travel or move away.
Like
whatever.
having-
And then
Life
very quickly, since we're short in time, Molly, what do you think is gonna happen to Molly?
I mean,
shit is gonna hit the fan.
well, before we go to Molly, real quick, the actress herself,
Yvonne Orji.
yeah, she's like 33 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
She said she's not gonna she's a virgin.
Yes.
And she's not gonna have sex when she's married. And
Yes.
it's like you don't hear that as much lately.
Amen to that.
Yes.
So that's
And
interesting.
she has a boyfriend now.
Yeah, she
thank
does.
God. We thank
She
God.
has a
Thank
boyfriend
God.
now, so
In
she
Jesus' name. Amen.
So someone might pop the molly soon.
Anyway, what do you think is gonna happen with? What do you think is gonna happen to Molly's character in season 3? Especially how she's now participating in this open relationship with Dro, who I think his wife don't know that she's in an open relationship.
So
it's not open.
I think we're gonna figure out what's going on with this open relationship.
Someone's getting their cheeks pulled.
Basically, yeah, it ain't open if she don't know.
If the wife doesn't know.
I think I'd rather.
Here's the thing.
Unless we find out she has a little side piece on the side too.
I mean,
It would also be very.
In an open relationship, right? Does that mean that you have to disclose that you?
Oh, actually, you don't. Actually, it doesn't.
Who
You don't have to
you're
disclose
messing with?
you.
Whoa.
It's just
No,
known that
but it
okay,
is-
you're not together, but
Yeah.
I'll be messing with other people too.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah,
it's not like I'm
I was
gonna.
gonna
It's
say,
not. It's
I
not
don't
like I was
have
like
to
me and
give
you
you a
together, right?
play-by-play, as
Yeah.
long as they're
As long as
No,
you-
You don't need
what
no
I'm saying is
blow-by-blow,
the
but
wife doesn't know that she's in an open marriage with Dro.
Oh,
okay.
It's only
That'll be
Dro
different.
that's going around saying, yeah, I'm in
He's
an
in an
open
open
marriage
relationship.
with my wife.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
what
I
I'm
see what you're
saying.
saying.
That we'll find.
Yeah.
That part we'll
Yeah.
find out.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
We'll find out in this.
We'll
in this
find
season.
out.
Anything we say right now is just speculation.
Yeah, so watch Insecure
This
season
Sunday.
3 this Sunday. What is it?
Well,
What,
by the
10
time
o'clock?
this comes out, it'll be past it. But
Yeah.
watch it anyway.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, watch episode 2. Go back and watch. Go back and watch episode 1.
We told you so.
All right.
If you ain't know, now you know.
And press the goddamn button.
Right.